Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the world of classic American coins to uncover the top 5 most valuable wheat penny 1-cent coins that collectors dream of owning. From their unique mint marks to their rare conditions, these coins have shocked the auction world by selling for thousands, and in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you've ever wondered which wheat pennies could turn your pocket change into a fortune, this video is for you. So let's get started. First up, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1951 D-Wheat penny, a coin that continues to spark interest among collectors despite being over 7 decades old. While many wheat pennies are common, special conditions, unique mint marks, and the historical context behind each piece make them more than just copper coins. Today, we'll explore the 1951 1-cent coin with the D mint mark from Denver, especially focusing on its circulated black damage condition and why collectors still pay attention to it in the auction market. The Wheat Penny series, officially known as the Lincoln Cent, was minted from 1909 until 1958. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. The 1951 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, with a production of over 625 million pieces. At first glance, that makes it seem like a very common coin. However, over time, circulation, environmental damage, and collector demand have set apart specific coins, making some far more valuable than their original face value of just 1 cent. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909, was designed by Victor David Brenner to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. These coins feature Lincoln's profile on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and agriculture in America. In 1951, the Denver Mint produced over 625 million wheat pennies, making it one of the higher mintage years. However, not every coin has survived in pristine condition. Many circulated heavily, acquiring scratches, discoloration, and in some cases, damage that gives them a darker, blackened look. The 1951 D-Wheat penny features Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse, with the words "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date, 1951, followed by the D mint mark on the right. The reverse shows the classic wheat design, with 2 wheat stalks curving around the words 1 cent and United States of America. The blackened or damaged surface often found on circulated examples is usually caused by environmental exposure, oxidation, or improper storage, giving the coin a dark, sometimes uneven tone. While such damage reduces eye appeal, it adds character and uniqueness to each piece, making it a curiosity for certain collectors. The 1951 D-Wheat penny carries the small D mint mark just below the year on the obverse side. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that distinct reddish-brown or darker tone over time. When found in circulated black damage condition, the coin may appear worn, darkened, and sometimes corroded due to years of use and exposure to the elements. Despite the damage, it still represents an important piece of U.S. minting history. Collectors often appreciate these circulated examples as affordable entry points into building a wheat penny set. Now, let's talk rarity. In pristine mint state, the 1951 D-Wheat penny is not extremely rare due to its high mintage. However, in circulated condition with unusual black damage, these coins become less about traditional rarity and more about collectible appeal. Some collectors actively seek odd-toned or environmentally damaged coins because they stand out from the rest. Additionally, wheat pennies from the early 1950s are growing in demand as more people complete their Lincoln Cent collections, and every year, high-quality examples become harder to find in circulation. Now, let's talk numbers. In circulated and damaged condition, such as a blackened 1951 D-Wheat penny, the value is typically modest. Most of these coins can sell anywhere between $3,500, depending on the level of damage. However, coins with unusual toning, heavy circulation marks, or historical significance sometimes fetch a little more, especially if collectors see them as unique conversation pieces. On the other hand, pristine uncirculated 1951 D-Wheat pennies have sold in auctions for $5,300 or more, particularly in higher mint state grades. While a circulated black damage example won't reach those numbers, it still has a collectible charm and a story worth sharing. If you own a 1951 D-Wheat penny in circulated black damage condition, here are a few tips. Cleaning can further damage the coin and lower its value. Keep it in a protective holder to prevent further corrosion or wear. Even in poor condition, slight differences in toning or minting errors could make your coin more valuable. Some 1951 D pennies are known to have die cracks, repunched mint marks, or doubling. These varieties can significantly increase the coin's value, even in circulated condition. The 1951 D-Wheat penny may be the rarest Lincoln cent out there, but its history, charm, and occasional collector demand make it a fascinating piece of American coinage. Even in circulated black damage condition, it tells a story of age, circulation, and preservation. Whether you're a beginner starting your wheat penny collection or a seasoned collector chasing unique finds, the 1951 D deserves a spot in your album. Next up, we're diving deep into the world of United States cents, focusing on one particular coin that has fascinated collectors for decades. The 1956 wheat penny without mint mark. While at first glance it may look like just another old penny, in very fine condition, it can hold surprising value in the collector's market. So if you've ever come across one of these coins in your collection, stay tuned, because we'll break down its history, unique features, rarity, auction value, and what makes it such a sought-after piece today. The 1956 wheat penny belongs to the famous Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The wheat reverse, design showing two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, was used until 1958. After that, it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1956 issue came out during the final years of the wheat penny era, making it an important part of U.S. numismatic history. The 1956 penny without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time did not use a mint mark. This means if you look just below the date on the obverse side and see no letter, you're holding the Philadelphia issue. On the obverse, you'll see Lincoln's bust facing right with the motto, "In God We Trust," above his head, "Liberty," to the left, and the date to the right. The reverse is decorated with the iconic wheat stalks and inscriptions 1 cent, United States of America, and the national motto, E Pluribus Unum. Even though millions were struck, what makes coins like this more valuable is their preservation, condition, and any interesting die varieties that sometimes appear. At first glance, the 1956 Philadelphia wheat penny 1 cent appear rare, as over 420 million were minted. However, not all of them survived in very fine or higher conditions. Many were heavily circulated, scratched, or worn out over time, and finding one today in very fine condition still intact with visible details is something collectors appreciate. While this coin is not among the scarcest wheat pennies, it still has solid demand because it represents one of the last years of the wheat reverse. Collectors building complete Lincoln cent sets often look for strong condition examples of every date and mint mark, and the 1956 no mint mark is a necessary addition. Now, let's talk about the market value. In very fine condition, a 1956 wheat penny without mint mark typically sells for around $2,700, making it worth more than face value. However, when you move into higher grades such as uncirculated or mint state red examples, the value can climb dramatically. Coins with strong luster, little to no wear, and sharp details have been known to sell at auctions for $5,000, depending on rarity, strike quality, and overall preservation. In fact, some rare error versions of the 1956 penny, such as double dies or off-center strikes, have even brought in much higher prices in the collector's market. If you're looking to add a 1956 wheat penny without mint mark to your collection, here are some tips. Always examine the condition closely. Very fine coins will show some wear, but all major details should remain clear. Keep an eye out for errors like die cracks, double dies, or off-center strikes, as these can significantly increase the value. Store your coin properly in a protective holder to avoid scratches or tarnish, which can hurt its value. And most importantly, always buy from reputable dealers or auction houses to ensure authenticity. So there you have it, the story of the 1956 wheat penny without mint mark in very fine condition. While the rarest wheat penny in circulation, it remains a fascinating and valuable piece of U.S. coinage history. Its role as part of the final years of the wheat cent era, combined with strong collector demand, ensures that this coin continues to hold its place in numismatic collections. Next up, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1956 D. Lincoln wheat penny. While at first glance this coin might seem like just another old cent, it has a special place in the world of numismatics. Even in circulated condition, some examples of the 1956 D. wheat penny have surprised collectors by selling for big money at auction. So, let's explore its background, unique features, rarity, and of course, its current market value in dollars. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, designed by Victor David Brenner, was introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. It quickly became one of the most iconic U.S. coin designs. The wheat ears reverse was used until 1958, after which it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial design. By 1956, the Denver Mint was one of the key facilities producing these coins, and it struck hundreds of millions of them that year. Despite the high mintage, the 1956 D penny still holds historical importance, representing the last few years of the beloved wheat penny era. The 1956 D wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the obverse, you'll see Lincoln's bust facing right with the word Liberty to the left, the date 1956 on the right, and the Denver D mint mark just below it. The reverse features two stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum at the top. In circulated condition, you'll notice varying degrees of wear, but even then, its classic design remains easily recognizable and beloved by collectors. Now, you might wonder, if over 1.1 billion 1956 D pennies were minted, how could this coin possibly be considered rare? The answer lies in condition, die varieties, and collector demand. Most circulated examples are worth only a few cents, but certain errors and varieties, such as doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and coins with off-center strikes, are far scarcer. Collectors actively seek out these variations, which can raise the value of a circulated 1956 D penny significantly. Furthermore, because the wheat penny series ended in 1958, late-date wheat pennies like this one are often in higher demand from people wanting to complete their collections. In the current market, a standard 1956 D wheat penny in average circulated condition usually trades between 5 cents and 50 cents. However, if the coin has eye-catching toning, a well-struck design, or an error variety, its value can rise sharply. For example, a repunched mint mark in circulated condition can bring anywhere from $2,570, depending on clarity. Higher-grade uncirculated or error coins have sold at auctions for hundreds, and in rare cases, even over $3,500. This shows that even a common-looking coin in your pocket change could potentially turn into a valuable treasure. If you come across a 1956 D wheat penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. Start by checking its overall condition. The less wear, the better. Next, look closely at the mint mark under magnification, as repunched mint marks are among the most sought-after varieties for this date. Pay attention to any signs of doubling, misstrikes, or unusual features. Always store your coins properly in protective holders to prevent further damage. And finally, if you suspect you found an error or high-grade coin, consider having it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. The 1956 D. Lincoln wheat penny may not seem rare at first because of its massive mintage, but the story changes when we look at condition, errors, and collector demand. Even in circulated condition, certain varieties can bring strong prices at auction, making this coin a worthy find in the world of numismatics. So next time you come across a 1956 D penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of American history with surprising value in dollars. Next up, we're diving into one of the most famous and talked about Lincoln wheat pennies ever produced, the 1955 wheat penny without mint mark. While it might look like just another old 1-cent coin at first glance, this penny holds a special place in U.S. coin history. Even in fine condition, It can fetch impressive value at auctions, making it a must-know piece for any serious collector. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and two wheat ears on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. By 1955, the wheat penny had already been in circulation for decades, but that year's Philadelphia mintage gave birth to one of the most famous error coins in U.S. history, the 1955 double-die penny. While many 1955 pennies were struck normally, some coins displayed a striking doubling on the obverse inscriptions, leading to their legendary status. Even the standard, non-error 1955 wheat pennies without mint mark struck at the Philadelphia Mint remain highly collectible today, especially in better conditions. The 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins at the time. On the obverse, you'll see President Lincoln's portrait with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1955. The reverse shows the classic wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto, E Pluribus Unum. In fine condition, the coin shows moderate wear, but the details of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks are still visible. While it lacks the dramatic doubling that made its error counterpart famous, the regular strike version remains a historically important and desirable collectible. Though millions of 1955 wheat pennies were produced, coins surviving in collectible condition are becoming increasingly scarce. Many were worn down through decades of circulation or lost over time. Collectors specifically seek out well-preserved examples, even in fine condition, because the 1955 date is tied to the legendary double-die error. This association makes all 1955 pennies with or without the doubling more attractive to buyers. The fact that it comes from the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark further enhances its desirability, as collectors often prefer date-in mint mark sets to complete their wheat penny collections. Now, let's talk money, the part everyone's waiting for. A 1955 wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition typically sells for around $1,500 in the open market. However, demand at auction can push values higher, especially if the coin displays strong details and natural patina. Higher grades, such as extremely fine, about uncirculated, or mint state examples can range from $2,800 to hundreds of dollars. While it doesn't reach the astronomical prices of the famous double-die penny, which has sold for thousands of dollars, the regular 1955 penny still commands a much higher value than its face worth and remains a rewarding find for collectors. If you're lucky enough to own or come across a 1955 wheat penny, here are a few tips. Double-check for the famous double-die error. Even worn examples of that variety can fetch thousands. Condition makes all the difference. Consider professional grading if your coin appears to be in higher condition. Use coin holders or albums to protect against scratches, tarnish, or further wear. Auction prices can vary, so monitor collector demand to know the best time to sell or buy. The 1955 wheat penny without mint mark may not always make headlines like the double-die variety, but it is still a valuable and historic coin that tells a story of American minting in the mid-20th century. In fine condition, it holds solid collectible value, and for many numismatists, it represents a vital piece of their Lincoln penny set. Keep an eye out for that 1955 wheat penny. It might just be worth more than you think. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. wheat pennies, with a special spotlight on the 1954 D wheat penny 1-cent coin. While it may look like an ordinary cent from your pocket change, in very fine condition, this coin holds hidden historical value and can fetch surprising amounts in the auction market today. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collection, this video will reveal why the 1954 D wheat penny is worth paying attention to. The wheat penny, officially called the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It replaced the Indian head cent and became the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real person. The reverse side carried the iconic wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and abundance, giving the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. By 1954, the U.S. Mint was still producing wheat pennies, with mints operating in Philadelphia, Denver, in San Francisco. The 1954 D Wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark located just below the date on the obverse. Millions were minted, but not all of them survived in collectible condition, and that's where rarity and value begin to take shape. At first glance, the 1954 D Wheat penny may seem ordinary, but it has several unique features that make it appealing to collectors. On the obverse, we see the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date with the Denver Mint mark on the right. On the reverse, the coin displays the two wheat stalks encircling the phrases "1 cent" and "United States of America." At the top sits the motto, "E Pluribus Unum." These design details remained until 1958, after which the wheat reverse was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. That change makes every wheat penny, including the 1954 D, part of a beloved historical series. Even though the Denver Mint struck over 251 million 1954 D wheat pennies, most of these coins circulated heavily. Coins that remain in very fine condition or better are much scarcer today. Collectors prize wheat pennies with clear details, minimal wear, and especially those that retain their original red or reddish-brown luster. Another factor driving demand is the nostalgia and popularity of wheat pennies as a whole. They're often a starting point for new collectors, but advanced numismatists seek out coins in the highest grades, error varieties, and well-preserved examples. Coins with minting errors, such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can make certain 1954 D wheat pennies significantly more valuable. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know. How much is a 1954 D wheat penny worth in today's market? In circulated grades like very fine condition, a 1954 D generally sells for around 10 to 25 cents, which is already more than its face value. However, prices climb dramatically as the condition improves. In extremely fine or uncirculated red condition, these coins can fetch several dollars. For example, certified mint state coins graded MS65 red have sold for $2,500 at auctions. At the very top end, the rarest gem quality examples in MS67 red have brought prices of $3,000 or more. That means even a seemingly common wheat penny could be hiding hundreds or even thousands of dollars in value, depending on its preservation. If you're interested in collecting the 1954 D wheat penny, here are some helpful tips. Make sure the D mint mark is authentic and look for varieties such as repunched mint marks. The sharper the details and the more original red luster that remains, the higher the value. Coins with unusual features like double dies or striking mistakes can command premium prices. If you believe your coin is in mint state condition, consider submitting it to grading services like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can boost collector confidence and market value. Keep your wheat pennies in a dry, protective holder to preserve their condition and avoid further wear or discoloration. The 1954 D wheat penny is more than just a small piece of copper. It's a tangible link to mid-20th century America and a beloved part of U.S. coinage history. While millions were minted, finding one in very fine condition or higher can make it a desirable treasure for collectors. Depending on grade and rarity, it could range from just a few cents to thousands of dollars at auction. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these treasures, you could be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow collectors. Until next time, happy coin hunting!